not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free with me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Meg Daves from I Teach Stamping, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. So the class that I taught for this summit was on making multiples, because in my opinion, I love layouts that you can do where it's just as easy to make 3 cards as it is to make 1. And so that's what I got to focus on, which is one of my favorite things with card making. So in my class, I teach both of these layouts. I picked a bright spring color palette. I thought it was fun. These are pattern papers from Crafty Stamp Co. And so in the class, you're going to get all the dimensions, all the easy cutting, everything. You just pick your 3 favorite patterns of paper and get to cutting. So I share in there what I call magic measurements, which are measurements that help you get the most out of your pattern paper. So you don't have a lot of waste. You're able to put most of it towards your card making. And so when I was trying to think of what I was going to be teaching for this class on making multiples, I was like back and forth on, do I teach how to make 2 cards with pattern paper? And I was like, why not? Let's make 3. And so you're going to learn how to do 3 for each of these layouts. Simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So when I started making cards a long time ago, I found that I'd want to have 2, at least 2, one to keep for my sample bin and then one to send out. And that's how I started with making multiples. And so then it just grew from there, because then it's like, well, if you can make 1, then you can make 2. If you can make 2, then you can make 3. And so that's just always been one of my favorite ways to craft, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. So in there, there's short videos. They're not long. These cards don't take a lot of time. I picked 2 different sentiments. They come from 2 different stamp sets from Catherine Puller Designs, and then just some simple layering dies. So a circle and a square, that's it. The rest of it's going to be done with your paper trimmer, so you don't need a lot of fancy supplies to make these projects. So Erin, do we have any questions so far? Anyone joining us? Do I ever do a sketch of the month challenge? So Laura Lee, yes, I have in the past. I have a program that I ran for 3 years called Card Sketch of the Month. And so all of that can be found on iteachstamping.com. And so what I did with it, rather than doing a new sketch every single week, I did a program where I broke down the sketches. I did 1 sketch, and then we took that same sketch and we used it 4 unique different ways. So again, getting to make a lot of different cards from one initial layout. So you didn't feel like you were starting over every single time, which in my opinion is great. When you can start with something and just build off of that, that's easier than always being like, oh, what am I going to make today? What am I going to make today? So yeah, it's called Card Sketch of the Month, and it's been great. And people have been begging me to do a volume 4, and there just might be one coming out sooner rather than later. So fingers crossed that that's all in the works. Great question. Any other questions so far? I cannot find the size dimensions on a worksheet, just in the video transcript. It has been submitted, and so maybe it needs to be updated, but they should all be on there because I provided that. But I will say that my documentation got turned in a little bit late, and that was a me issue. So I know they were working to get that updated. So the round sentiment die. Oh yeah, isn't that a pretty one? Look at this. So it's called the dot dash nested circles. And so this one is from Brass and Bliss. You can get it at iteachstamping.com/BB is going to be my link for their website. I love their dies. I love their price point. I love the uniqueness of their dies. They have a ton of nested dies that are just different from your basic ones. But that's a great question. And then this one is just a stitched rectangle or stitched square, not rectangle. And that one also comes from the same company, Brass and Bliss. So I like to mix and match my supplies a lot. For a long time, I was stuck just using one brand. And then when I started kind of branching out from that, I felt like everything on my card needed to be from one company. It's just a limitation I put on myself, but I love mixing and matching from different companies. I think then you get the best of both worlds. So, okay, so other fun things that we can talk about. I've been teaching paper crafting for over 20 years. It's kind of crazy. So I started my blog back in 2000. I think what we have on the documentation is 2007. So a long time. So if you're looking for ideas, you can definitely go to iteachstamping.com. Lots of different ideas, like hundreds of pages. And then also my YouTube channel, everything's under I Teach Stamping. I'm excited. I just hit 100,000 followers on Facebook for the I Teach Stamping page. So if you're not joining me over there, make sure you do. We have a lot of fun. I love the comments. We have a great time. It's a great little community right there on a Facebook page. So with that, if y'all don't get the measurements, just reach out to me and I'll get it taken care of. But I'm quite sure that the Stamp Me Some Love people get it all fixed. Do we have any other questions? I'm trying to watch and look at the there we go. Do you enjoy die cutting, or is pattern paper your biggest passion? Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. I love pattern paper, but I will say I die cut more than I use pattern paper because I like to color. And sometimes with pattern paper and coloring, it's hard to get exact color matches or things feel a little bit off. And so, yeah, if I had to pick, I guess I'd have to go with die cutting. I'll never forget when I got my first die cutting machine. It was like Christmas. It was like middle of summer, but it felt like Christmas. It was incredible. There's so much you can do with them compared to what we used to do with them back in the day versus what we can do with them now. It's just insane. But as far as pattern paper, I'm always looking for pattern paper that is a thicker quality. I like that. I feel like it just adds more oomph to your card making. So when I'm looking at pattern paper, I'm always looking at how thick it is. So that's one of the reasons on this, with this class, I talked about how you could cut them all at the same time, depending on your trimmer. But with this pattern paper, it was so thick, I did need to cut it individually. Okay. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So there we go. That's where they are. Okay, so other fun things that you could do with this exact same layout. If you don't want to use pattern paper, you can also change this to be cardstock. And maybe it's cardstock that you dry emboss. Maybe it's just different colors of cardstock. You don't have to do anything with it. You can add different textures, like I said, with dry embossing, but you can also have stenciled layers. And you can also do more simple things like changing the texture by adding some water to it or by watercoloring on it. That also looks great with these layouts. So don't just think about it has to be pattern paper. There's a lot of other things that you can do with it. And so just let the sky be the limit. That's why I went with these versatile patterns on here and really mix matched them. I mean, you wouldn't normally, maybe you wouldn't think of stripes, polka dots, and flowers all at once, but really anything can work. These did come from the same paper pack, but feel free to mix and match. And it's also a great way to use up scraps. If you're like me, you love to use up scraps. I don't like to save scraps because they always seem to get damaged in some way. So if I can figure out how to use them up right then and there, that's what I'm going to do. So these cards are great, especially this one right here. The other one, not so much for scraps, but this one right here, definitely use up your scraps. Okay. I did talk fast. Okay. Do you have any spring home decor projects that you're working on? I love how you incorporate. Yes. So because I got bored one day, I decided to start an entire other website that is called Makeable Crafts. And in there, I do everything except for card making. So anything with vinyl, anything home decor. I love making things and I love teaching people how to make things. And so that one's all at Makeable Crafts. And And I mix and match a lot of my paper crafting supplies with home decor, either pattern paper or like for framed things around your house, especially little scraps. You can do so much with scraps with home decor. It's like so much. I could go on for hours on that. But yeah, I just like to make and share. So don't, if you're just bored one day, don't just start another website. No, it's fun. It's fun because I feel like the one when I named it I Teach Stamping, I was just locked into stamping. With the other one, Makeable Crafts, I can do anything. So it's a lot of fun. So when I was, do I sponsor any card swaps? So I do in my membership site. So another website that I have is called Stamping Family. And we have a link for that where you guys can get on the wait list. It's not open just yet. So we do have card swaps in there, but it's a members only. It's a way that we tighten up our membership and everyone gets to know everybody's creative style a little bit better. So that's where I host those. Card swaps are fun. Do I use 12 by 12? So you can't seem to find small design. My favorite is 6 by 6s for that exact same reason. A lot of the 12 by 12s they're designed with either a very large pattern that it's hard to break down, or some of them have like suggested cut lines on them. And it's not for paper crafting all the time. Like the measurements are weird. So I definitely prefer 6 by 6. One of the companies, Brass and Bliss, they have 6 by 9, which I have really liked because it's the perfect measurement for card making. So you can get 2 full card fronts, the top layer, out of one piece. But definitely 6 by 6 for exactly the reason that you said. I think it's just more user-friendly for card makers. It's not as big, the patterns are tighter, more repetitive, more of a great background, rather than just having weird focal pieces all around it. So yeah. Oh, so why did I not put gems on the sentiments shape? Great question. So a lot of times I do, but for these I didn't. And the reason why I didn't was just because I picked die cuts that are pretty close to the sentiment. There's not a lot of room left on them. So if I had gone with bigger circles or bigger squares, there's a good possibility I would have. I also didn't want anyone to feel like they have to add them onto their cards. And so by putting them on the background layers, sorry, I'm losing my voice. We have crazy weather here with all the allergies blowing in, so I'm trying not to. So I just didn't want people to focus on those. I wanted them to focus more on the layout. So that's why I put it on the background. Or steal some water. I think this would make the cutest pattern paper, don't y'all? I want it so bad in pattern paper. Okay, so I saw the question for half a second and then did you make the flower picture behind you? Yes, actually I did. So this is an old, wait, over here. It's an old window and the glass was broken in it. So we removed it and I added chicken wire to the back of it. And then I just found a metal frame that already had the flower on it and just hung it right from these supports and hung it on the wall. I love it. So this is my background for videos. If you ever see them where I'm talking to you like this is where I'm standing in my craft room looking out my front yard. And I love this background. I had a small little SUV when I bought this giant size door and my mother-in-law was with me. She said, there's no way it's going to fit in the back of your car. It did. It did. And then my husband was like, you bought a door? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, we're going to use it as a backdrop in my studio. So it was fun to decorate this. So we did the whole wall, all the decorations. These are metal flowers my grandmother made. And she had some leftovers in her stuff, so I just used them in here. But yeah, a lot of fun. And those type projects would fall into the Makeable Crafts section of the website, or website rather than the stamping. The brand I was talking about with 6 by 9 is Brass and Bliss. So if you go to iteachstamping.com/BB for Brass and Bliss, it'll take you right to it. So they've got several out. They don't have a lot out. I'm begging for more. I'm doing what I can, but I love that size. It's been fun. And it's better, in my opinion, than having the 6x8 that some companies have, because that extra inch, you can do 2 entire card fronts if you want. Like if you're going with an A2 and you want to do the 4 1/4 size, then with that 9 inches, you can do 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 and get 2 of them out of there. So I think it's the perfect size. No, I am not. I'm not, just the timing of it. I was asked to, but the timing of it didn't work out for me. So another good question. Laura Lee always has good questions. Any events coming up? The biggest event that I'll be doing is going to be for the Stamping Family website. So, and right now it's doing its annual updates, which is always fun. And as soon as those updates are over, then I'll be opening the doors for membership, for new membership. It's only open a couple times a year. So that's the biggest event that I'm working on, is getting that opened and taking on new members. We love that time of year, but we do the updates first before we have y'all come in. So, and that site's been going on since 2009. It was originally called something else. And then 2013, I changed the name to Stamping Family. And so, like I said, go and get on the wait list. It's not open yet, but the wait listers get in first. So make sure that you get on that wait list. You'll get an email when it is open before I announce it to everybody else. So you can come in, get to know the members, do a make and mingle session with us, which is a fancy name for Zoom, and get to know us before everybody else does. We love that. We love it when the wait listers get to come in. Dang, allergies. Okay, so I'll take this time to, unless we have more questions, to just kind of talk about these cards again. So another fun way to do this, like this is a perfect layout for masculine cards too. And I did it with bright, cheerful colors, and not that men don't like bright, cheerful colors. They do. But this with just like a nautical theme or any type of darker navies, browns, pattern paper is great for masculine cards, because sometimes we feel like we have to have all the extra elements or have a specific theme, and you don't have to. These are fantastic for masculine cards. I started with making this design, making all different versions of it probably a decade ago, and it's still, this is my number one go-to. I need a card, and I need a card now. This is what I'm going for. This one takes a little bit more time, but not that much more time. But you do have to have bigger pieces of paper versus like this. I said you can use up scraps. So this card always sits, a version of it sits on my card spinner over here. And I see it all the time, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I got a scrap. Let's make a card. So it's perfect. So when you make one, make sure to keep it so you've got it as your sample and have it. I love having a sample box. I don't know about y'all, but I love having a sample box of cards you can recreate and use different supplies, different items. I'm trying to think of what else to share with you guys. Do we have any other questions? Okay, so I'll start telling y'all, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that you're here for the live, and I'm so glad that you're here for the summit. The projects are amazing from all the instructors. I love that I get to not only present at this, but then also be a student at the summit. I love that because you can always learn something from all the instructors, and there's great instructors this time. There normally are, but this one, as I was going through and reading about all of them, I don't know all of them, which is fun. And so I hope y'all enjoy this summit. I hope that y'all enjoy the class that I have for y'all. And if you have any questions for me, you can always find me at iteachstamping.com or email me at meg@iteachstamping.com. And I hope y'all have an amazing, amazing day.